do you balance the use of digital tools with traditional pen and paper methods?
Honestly, convenience tends to win in that instance. So I have my laptop at even my face-to-face games, and I can use that to look stuff up. I can have cheaper PDF copies of whatever game we're playing in a searchable format that's massively helpful, so we're not reliant on the book that's being passed around. I can use Google Docs to store my character sheets, so I can access them anywhere from any device, including my phone, at any point. Dice roller apps and so on, in case I haven't brought the right set of dice, and some of those are configurable enough that you can make them work the same way as novelty dice that people insist on using. So I incorporate digital tools into both my face-to-face tabletop experience and my online tabletop experience. I prefer having a book of my own, physical book, to run a game from and to read for the sort of tactile haptic experience of reading. But there is no doubt that PDFs are much easier for searching and finding things than a hard copy book. So, you know, digital tools kind of win out in that space. For dice rolling, I prefer dice. Again, there's a tactile, haptic sort of physical feedback thing and investment that you get with that you don't get with digital dice. But in online play, I do tend to prefer digital dice because we can throw them up on screen with relative ease, and people who are watching us play can get invested in that. I don't bother with my own Grimstreams games, but with the Tabletopless games, we have, you know, the play mat up in Roll20. I'm not really much of a fan of Roll20 and other similar tools like that because they're not very well designed in UI terms. They're not very usable. You can get used to them, and you can make them do most of the things that you want, but they're just not user-friendly in the way that I need. You know, a simple whiteboard or something would end up working a lot better in a lot of instances. It's nice to have the integrated character sheets and so on, so you could just click on stuff to make it roll, but then there are always peculiarities where things don't work properly. And if the site's down for whatever reason, or the internet is having issues that day, then you're just shit out of luck when it comes to that. I would love to use something like Sigil or Tailspire in creative ways, but I've always been more of a theatre of the mind sort of guy, and also not been much of a prep guy. I don't like spending a whole bunch of time getting stuff ready. I prefer to jot down a bunch of ideas and then wing it, which you can't do with some systems, but even so, it's the requirement for finding maps and making effort in that degree is also off-putting. I like to just hit the ground running and play and figure it out as I go along, which I think is a fundamentally useful skill for all games masters, even heavy prep games masters. But you have to exercise that muscle to get good at it. So I incorporate digital tools. I don't have anything hugely against them. I also don't have anything hugely for them to say. So this is just a bunch of waffle saying that I'm somewhere in the middle on digital tools. Sorry.
Well, I look at it myself as the beginning, really, of an exploration. That's the reason we're exploring. You don't know what you'll run into on an exploration. What the sky looks like, what the stars look like. Do they still twinkle, or are they a steady light when you get outside the atmosphere?
This is horrible what happened today. See, I don't like the... I have... Okay. like a lot of you, I hate a lot, you know? But I hate with style and creativity.